Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tiger Talk. Gerard Walbrock with you as we talk Fort Hays State basketball with women's coach Tony Hobson and men's coach Mark Johnson. We're at Horizon Appliance and Mattress.
It's time for Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network. Presented by Horizon Appliance and Mattress. The lowest prices on kitchen and laundry appliances, Traeger grills, and accessories. And most importantly, mattresses. Open 7 days a week at 1501 East 27th in Hays. Horizon Appliance and Mattress. Tiger Talk is also brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hays and Ellis. The Hays Med Orthopedic Institute, part of the University of Kansas Health System. The Certified Public Accountants of Adams, Brown, Barron, and Ball. BTI, The Taco Shop, G&L Tire and Automotive.
And a good Monday, and welcome into Tiger Talk. This is Gerard Walbrock, and we are at Horizon Appliance and Mattress. Good to have you back after a week off. We are back at it. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And Fort Hays State men's and women's basketball certainly did. A couple of nice wins at home on Saturday night over KCAC opponents. Final tune-up before the start of MIAA play, which begins tomorrow. The Tigers up in Kearney at the Health and Sports Center taking on the Lopers of Nebraska Kearney. We'll get into all of that and more as we move along here on the program. Again, brought to you by Horizon Appliance and Mattress, where they've got, if you need a Christmas gift idea, this is the one-stop place. Whether it's a new bed, which maybe isn't the, you might get in trouble if you buy your wife a bed for Christmas. But if you need one, they've got a great selection. In fact, we're in the mattress section right now. Great selection of mattresses, everything you might need. But obviously the kitchen appliances and the Traeger grill and all the Traeger grill accessories. You cannot go wrong there. Full selection of wood pellets and a whole lot more here at Horizon Appliance and Mattress, and we certainly appreciate them hosting the program. They are at 1501 East 27th in Hays. We bring in the head coach of the Fort Hays State women's basketball team, Tony Hobson. His squad off to a 6-0 start, 2 convincing wins this week over St. Mary as well as Tabor College. And welcome to the program, our first basketball show of the year, and nice to have the first program and 6 good wins to talk about.
Well, thanks, Gerard. And I wish you would have told me about the bed deal, because I've already ordered one.
Oh, you did? Okay.
For my wife for Christmas.
All right.
I guess I'm in hot water.
It depends on. I shouldn't speak for everybody.
Well, I don't have much feel for that.
Well,
this time of year, I'm just not thinking about Christmas presents. So, no, we're off to a good start, and we had I guess it was a pretty light week because we were at home against NAI opponents and played well and did what we needed to do and took care of business. But it'll get a lot tougher here this week. We go to Kearney, go to Emporia. Probably 2 of the toughest games we had last year were at Kearney and at Emporia. So we'll definitely have to be ready for them. And hopefully our first few games, we were tested pretty well at the Missouri Western tournament early against Minnesota Duluth and Concordia St. Paul. So both of them were pretty tight games. I mean, we were down in the fourth quarter in one of them, I know. So hopefully that'll carry us and help us prepare for tomorrow's game.
And we'll talk more about the Lopers here as we move along in the program. But 6-0, and you felt you had a chance to get off to a good start. Obviously, the 2 games in Missouri a little bit more challenging than what you had played in that early season. I guess MIAA and SIC challenge, however you want to label that. But your team answered the bell on a neutral floor. You've had 6 games. You return a lot, but yet there's enough new faces in key roles. I'm sure it still takes a little while to get a feel for everybody and the players. And it seems like it doesn't matter how many you return every year. Every team takes on its own character, its own personality, needs its own time to kind of gel. You feel this team is doing that so far here in the first, I guess, not quite, maybe month of the season, I guess?
Well, I think so. I think we started to, and then, our last 4 games have been wipeouts. And so you don't. you don't get much out of those as far as who are you going to go to when you need a shot, and down the stretch who's got to have the ball and who do you need in the game and things like that. So probably stunted our growth a little bit, but that's not our fault. We thought the 2 games would be a little more challenging in that second week in our Classic with Cameron and Adams State. So in that respect, it didn't help us very much, but in the respect of gaining experience for those kids off the bench, it was great because we got a lot of playing time for everybody. But when you say, it's different every year, you couldn't be more right. We have 4 senior starters who have all been playing for a couple years, and then you bring in a seasoned transfer with Jaden Hobbs. But still, when you take Tatiana out of that lineup, you lose a key rebounder and somebody that we went to all the time in the clutch and who could make big plays. So I'm still not sure, but I think we have enough kids that can do it. It's just that maybe we haven't been put in that situation enough to know. But our freshmen have blended in well. We've got our backup post has been finding her way and trying to find out exactly what she needs to do to be effective. And so there is. It's a whole different ball game every year, regardless of how many you have coming back. And Sydney Bergman off the bench, she's kind of playing a much bigger role than she did last year. And Haley Walker, we're just trying to work her back in because of an injury. So you have a lot of old faces, but you're still trying to tweak things so they work for this year.
Well, the Tigers off to the 6-0 start. As we mentioned, they'll be in Kearney tomorrow to take on the Lopers to begin MIAA play. We're going to take our first break. We'll talk more about the season and preview what's ahead tomorrow and this week. Big week, as Tony mentioned, at Kearney at Emporia State. Doesn't get much tougher than that to open up MIAA play. We are at Horizon Appliance and Mattress, where they have the lowest prices on kitchen and laundry appliances, Traeger grills, all the accessories, and, of course, the great mattress selection. We're back in the mattress section today for the program. They've got a full line, and a lot of the small kitchen appliances, the KitchenAid mixers, which are always a big thing. They've got a great selection of those and a lot of household appliances right here at Horizon Appliance and Mattress, 1501 East 27th in Hayes. We will take our first break. More to come right here on Tiger Talk along the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction.
I'm Patty Stoll, Coldwell Banker Executive Realty. We want your dreams to become a reality. Coldwell Banker Executive Realty prides itself in putting you first.
Rolfs winds her way up the floor, kicks it over to Page, left wing, in low to Barbieri for the layup. Laney could have shot a three, instead found her cutting teammate for an easy one. 18-0 Tigers.
Belle Barbieri scored 6 consecutive points.
Yes, she did. That was on Monday night. Tigers roll by St. Mary out of the KCAC, knocked off Tabor on Saturday. And welcome back to Tiger Talk. We're at Horizon Appliance and Mattress at 1501 East 27th in Hayes. They've got your Christmas gift shopping covered right here at Horizon Appliance and Mattress. Gerard Wellbrock, head coach of the Tiger women. Tony Hobson, his squad off to a 6-0 start. That's one thing noticed in those games this past week. Very unselfish play by your team, and I don't know if it's by design, but it feels like it maybe got some of those players. You mentioned Sydney Bergman and some of the freshmen that are now playing and those who have maybe increased roles from a year ago. Hopefully got them a lot of confidence because they played well this week, and a lot of it is because of their veteran teammates getting them involved in those games.
Well, I think one of the strong points of last year's team was just our ability to pass the ball, and I think that is this year too. One thing with our kids, they're pretty basketball savvy, so to be a good passer, you kind of have to anticipate. You can't wait until the person's open a lot of times. Sometimes it's too late then. But that's what I see with Laney and Jaden, and even Taylor's a good passer. Belle's a good passer for for a 5-man, and they do share it well, and sometimes to a fault, but I would way rather have it like that than not wanting to pass it. So I think that unselfish play comes from their enjoyment of making a good pass, and good passers like to pass the ball. Usually when you have a team that looks like it gets stuck and they don't pass it very well, there's probably a reason. They're probably not capable, or they can't throw a good pass. They're just not good passers. Now, on occasion, you have somebody that's a good passer that just wants to jack it all the time. But usually good passers, they like to share it, and I think that's evident in how we play. And just like the other night, we were trying to get Kylie in the books, and we got her she just couldn't get it to fall. But all of our kids that were in there, we moved the ball around and made sure we got it where it needed to go, and I think that's just pretty indicative of how our team plays.
For the record, it was after the game, and a lot of times, after the games at the Coliseum, kids bring basketballs and they get to shoot a little bit, which is kind of a cool thing. Kylie did score. She got one of the kids to throw her a pass, and she laid it in. Unfortunately, we were in commercial break, so we didn't get to describe it. She kind of looked and said, "See, I can make a basket," which was she was the only one who didn't score the other night. Certainly had a lot of opportunities. But you mentioned passing, and Jaden Hobbs, the newcomer from Oklahoma State, handling the point guard duties for your squad, and you just talk about different chemistry and different feel. I mean, you've had steady play at point guard, obviously, for quite a while. And anytime you bring a new person in, it's kind of like a new quarterback. And not to say that she's not capable, and she's proven she is, but I'd imagine that takes some adjustment, too, because she's probably plays it differently than Carly did. And you just get used to what Carly Heim did at that point guard spot. And I would think that just takes a while to get used to what passes she's going to make. And as you said, being ready for them, because I'm sure it's a little different than what they've been used to the last several years.
Well, it is, and there's no better way than a new kid coming into the team, pretty highly touted transfer, than to come in and be a great passer. Yeah. Everybody always, oh man, I like her. She passes me the ball, and I don't think she came in there just saying, I've got to do this to fit in. That's just kind of how she plays, and she can score the ball. We know that. But she's also kind of running the show, and I think it goes both ways. She has to get used to who she can throw the ball to, where and when, because some people can catch anything, and some people need to be, a little more stable and not moving so much, and maybe in a different position. So, I think it's working out so far, and I think it should improve as we get used to each other as the season progresses.
You kind of touched on rebounding. Belle's done a great job. I think she had double-doubles her first 4 games, and probably just the lack of minutes because of the way the games went prevented her from getting a couple of more this week. But outside of her, is that still kind of the big question mark and challenge? Or maybe just who's going to assume that role because – really haven't had to because of what you mentioned with Tatiana in years past.
Well, it's absolutely a concern of mine. I mean, even last year, several times we would struggle on the boards, and so you take our best rebounder out of there, and Belle has stepped it up. I mean, she's getting her share, but we really have to. Basically, it's going to be by committee, and there's no reason we can't be. It's just one of those things when you don't have to for the last year or year and a half, when it's not always necessary. We were going to get them anyway. You just get out of the habit of going and blocking off, and we just have to be better at that, because we've got a couple kids that are so capable, but it's just rebounding is just a lot of hard work and a habit. You just have to have a habit of going and getting it every time, and you can't take plays off, or the other team, they'll make you pay for it. So we're looking for, like Whitney Randall. She's a great athlete. There's no reason she can't be a great rebounder. So we've been, on her about making sure she's diligent going to the boards. And then our other players are all basically guards. Mm-hmm. They've played on the perimeter all their life, so you have to hammer it into them that, hey, you're a 6-foot wing player, or you're 6'3", or you're 5'11". A lot of those rebounds you can get. Yeah. You just got to be there, and they do a pretty good job of it most of the time. It's just a habit.
Laney Page, obviously, he's had a phenomenal career here. It seems like early on this year, she's added the element of the mid-range jumper and not just relying on threes and getting to the rim and being able to finish a little bit better this year. And it seems that has also opened up her three-point shooting because now defenders have to respect the drive and respect that mid-range and just has added to her game over her time here at Fort Hays State.
Well, I think she's being much more assertive this year than she was even last year, and I think last year there was a big step from the prior semester she'd played with us, and I think she's also taken a little bit of control or tried to take some leadership responsibilities. So you just see somebody that's playing with a lot of confidence, and she's got a lot of game, and I like the mid-range instead of her trying to get clear to the basket most of the time, because the mid-range, if you had seen her practice like I have over the last 3 years, she's just probably the best pull-up mid-range shooter that I've ever had from that, stop at 12 feet or even 15 or whatever. And when you're 6'2" or 3, you can get those off very, very easily. So I'd rather have her do that than get clear to the basket and get, she's so long that it takes her a while to get there, and sometimes she gets wiped out, and I'd rather just have her pull up and shoot it, crash the boards from the other side. But you put that together with her passing ability, and she's doing a good job, and like you said, she is kind of taking an expanded role, and I think that's just she knows she needs to, and it's expected of her, and it's just one of those comfort level things where when you first come in and you're trying to fit in and right, wrong, or indifferent, young ladies that is important to them to be part of a group and to be accepted. Where I've coached in some boys teams and played on college teams where we didn't care what you thought. I don't care what you think. And I don't care if you like me, and I don't care if we hang out anytime ever. I just want to play ball. It's just different. And, I've came to the conclusion I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Chemistry's really important to us, and I think that's one of the reasons we're really unselfish, and not that our guys' team isn't. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's different because, regardless in today's society, boys and girls are different. I know you're not supposed to probably say that, but they are, and they think true. They go about their business differently, and so I think everybody's really responding to that, and they look up to not only Laney but Casey and Taylor and Bell. They look to them. We've got 4 really good senior leaders on our team that have kind of taken charge, and hopefully that will continue.
We're at Horizon Appliance and Mattress. It's Tiger Talk. We will take another break. We'll preview tomorrow night the Tigers and Nebraska Kearney to open up MIAA play. Hard to believe it's here already, but Tigers and Lopers get it started before anybody else in the MIAA tomorrow night up at the Health and Sports Center. We're at Horizon Appliance and Mattress, where they have the lowest prices on kitchen and laundry appliances, Traeger grills, as well as all the accessories, and of course their mattress selection second to none. Horizon Appliance and Mattress, 1501 East 27th in Hays. We'll take a break. More to come right here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction.
Ready to discover something new? The next time you're in your car, tune your radio to 94.3 FM.
It's here.
It's Hays' greatest hits.
Love it.
On 1400 KAYS and 94.3 FM.
94.3 FM, KAYS. Go ahead, check us out.
Right wing to Hobbs. Tabor's half-court man-to-man, pretty tough. Hobbs off a screen in the corner. Kennett from the left baseline. Nails a three. Casey Kennett with a corner three. And the Tigers have scored 5 in a row. They lead it 7-2. That was some of the action from Saturday night. Fort Hays State knocking off the Tabor College Blue Jays to move to 6-0. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. We are at Horizon Appliance and Mattress at 1501 East 27th. Back in the mattress section again today. Way back in the mattress section. But they've got a great selection of mattresses and all the different bedding accessories here here at Horizon Appliance and Mattress. So be sure to check them out. We're on Tiger Talk with head coach Tony Hobson of the Tiger women. Heard that three from Casey Kennett, obviously one of your three-point shooters. And I know we've kind of talked about it a little bit on pregame shows and on postgame shows, but I think you set a school record, 17 threes against St. Mary, shot a very high percentage on Saturday. I know the competition isn't what you're going to see starting tomorrow, but still this team has the ability to shoot the three, and maybe unlike other years, deeper three-point shooting. We've talked about it, really 4 of your 5 starters can shoot it well, and you can bring 4 or 5 off the bench, so hopefully that becomes a weapon as the season goes along, and you get those games where maybe one person or two aren't feeling it and can't hit it. You've got other ones who hopefully can find their stroke, because you got a lot of them who can shoot it.
Well, we do, and the main thing is that we just don't fall into the habit of just settling for that when they aren't going in, So I think we have enough options inside, and we have enough people that can get to the basket, and Bell can score inside, so can Whitney, and all of our guards are pretty good post-up players. So it really, they both just complement each other. I mean, your three-point game opens up your inside game and your drives, and those two things open up your three-point shots. So I think that's one reason why we're shooting a fairly high percentage, is that they have to guard against those other options. So as long as you're not just a one-trick pony, like they say, you just need to be able to score in a variety of ways. And we do have a lot of kids that are capable of making three-point shots, and just as long as we take good shots, I'm fine with it. I don't like to see quick ones that are off balance or guarded too closely. Just move the ball. Somebody's going to come open and have a good shot eventually if you just move it. And, we talked about it the other day that our best three-point shooter guarded is not as good as our 6th best three-point shooter open, and then we try to just make that extra pass and find the open man.
All right, well, conference play tomorrow, Fort Hays State at Nebraska. Kearney, you kind of touched on it earlier. Tough place to play, needed overtime a year ago. I think of the last 8 meetings between you and Kearney, 3 have gone to overtime. They actually beat you at the Coliseum a few years ago. I mean, they're a capable team. You had to come from 20 down last year, biggest comeback in program history to beat them in overtime. They've got a lot of players back from that squad. Obviously, as tough of a challenge out of the gate for you guys as you may face all year, just on recent history anyway.
Yeah, boy, don't remind me of that. I guess you didn't need to remind me of that 20-point comeback, but that was...
Hey, the ending was great. Getting there wasn't so much fun.
The ending was great, and that was the game Carly got hurt, but that was a bummer. But what a comeback, and what a testament to just not ever giving up, because, boy, we were dead in the water and just had a couple little things happen, that get you going, and the other team gets a little shaky. So it'll be, they have, not only do they have most of their kids back, but they've added a point guard that has really put them, I think, at a different level. She's a real solid, runs the team, can make open shots, and just a good all-around player, a lot like Jaden, in fact. Or she gives them the same thing Jaden gives us. So they're tough. I think they have a nice team. They were picked 6th. I think they're all of that in our conference. So they're well-rounded, and they shoot the ball well. They got a good inside post presence. So they're kind of a pretty salty opponent to start the season with on the road.
And you look at it, I mean, they're scoring at a high rate. I know early non-conference, who you play has a lot to do with this, but, I mean, they're right by you in scoring. They shoot it well, right? Second-best shooting team, shooting the three, really well. I mean, you look at the numbers. I mean, they've had some solid wins, and some of that got skewed because they played Nebraska Christian and won big, but they're right up there among the leaders in the MIAA in a lot of statistical categories.
Well, I think they're kind of in the same boat we are as far as not knowing exactly what we got, because their opening weekend was against teams probably not as good as ours were. So they're both of our schedules recently, the last 3 or 4 games have been turned into being fairly soft. I guess Cameron kind of gave them a little run. So, we're both probably just thinking we'll find out this week on where we're at exactly. And but yeah, they have a nice balance of shooters, and their guards are big. Their wings are, they got a couple 5'11", 6-foot kids that play on the wing and that are active. Remind me a little bit of like Casey and Taylor and when they were sophomores. So they all got a lot of good experience last year as freshmen, and boy, they look like they've kind of taken that next step. So a good solid team, and they'll definitely be ready to play us. Because just we got a lot of connections, and it's close. The fans go back to the RMAC, and the relationship with their coaching staff and things like that. So it'll be a hard, just contested game and competitive. So we're looking forward to it. I think, like I said, we need to find out where we're at, and if we need to work on something, they're going to tell us. Them and then Emporia on Saturday, they'll let us know where our weak spots are. Yeah,
it's interesting with Kearney, and I don't know if it's because of all those things you said, and obviously you and Coach Amy and her time at Fort Hays State, but it seems like you can go through any school in the MIAA and probably in the country, there's always that team, and it doesn't matter if that team's good or not good or whatever, they give you fits, and it seems like Kearney's that team because, when they first joined the MIAA, they weren't nearly as good as they are now, but yet they still played Fort Hays State tough. They're just teams on your schedule that it doesn't matter. It's going to be a tough game, and Kearney's always one of them. Yeah,
it seems like it. There was a couple years in there when we had Lehman that we just killed him because she
did that to a lot of teams.
She liked playing them, and she had their post players number, and that was who they had to go to score, and she just couldn't score on Kate. But other than that, we've taken really good teams up there. Where, quote, on paper, which you know what paper is, you should win, and it shouldn't be that close, but it always is. We've always found a way, but we've had some tough ones up there over the years, and I expect another one.
You touched on Emporia. I know you're putting your focus on tomorrow, but the Hornets look like they're going to have another solid team. A lot of zone from them a year ago, and they beat you at their place. Obviously, it was a disappointing finish to that one, but it'll be a little bit different challenge facing them at their building with a lot of zone defense probably.
Well, they're junking it up again, and they do a good job of that. But they'll run that three-quarter, half-quarter zone trap and then fall back into a zone. And last year they ran a triangle 2 on us, and Carly hit 4 threes because she wasn't one of the 2. So it's just a totally different preparation because you'll see a lot of different things, and you have to be prepared for all those things, not knowing for sure what they're going to throw at you. But got some good athletes, and it'll be a barn burner, I'm sure.
No, great week to start it. Unfortunately, for Tiger fans, it's all on the road. Hope they can make the trip up to Kearney tomorrow, and then Emporia on Saturday afternoon for Fort Hays State basketball. Coach, we appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow up at the Health and Sports Center. Should be fun.
Okay, thanks, Gerard.
Yeah, you got Tony Hobson, coach of the Fort Hays State women. Again, they'll have a 5:30 tip tomorrow against Nebraska Kearney at the Health and Sports Center, and then a 1:30 tip on Saturday in Emporia. We'll need to take another break. We'll do that right here. When we come back, we'll talk men's basketball as head coach Mark Johnson joins us after we return here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction.
Who is Horizon Appliance? Today there are 3 different styles of mattress to choose from, starting with your traditional coil spring mattress, made mostly of coil with your comfort layer on top.
And secondly, we have the hybrid mattress, which is 50% coil, 50% foam.
Finally, we have our specialty mattresses, which are a foam support layer with a comfort layer on top. Stop in, take the rest test, and let us help you find the mattress of your dreams. Horizon Appliance, here to help you.
And they just break the 10 count, and then it's stolen by Harrington. Tigers have it back, down by 6, 35 seconds to go. Here's Nicholson, left wing, hands it off to Davis, back to Aaron, a left corner 3, he knocked it in! He hit it! Timeout Tigers, 72-69. That was some of the action from Tuesday in Kansas City. Unfortunately for Fort Hays State, they come up a little short, losing to Southwest Baptist in the MIAA Thanksgiving Challenge. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. We're at Horizon Appliance and Mattress, where you'll find the lowest prices on the kitchen and laundry appliances, Traeger grills, all the accessories, and, of course, a huge selection of mattresses. We're in the mattress section today, and it's second to none here, so check them out at Horizon Appliance and Mattress. You can save up to $600 on select mattresses here at 1501 East 27th in Hays. We bring in head men's coach Mark Johnson. Tigers off to a 4-2 start. And played a challenging schedule. Certainly got back on track with a nice win Saturday over Sterling College. Good to have you here. And I guess 4-2. When you look at the schedule, you'll take it. Probably felt maybe Tuesday you let one get at least had an opportunity to win that game against SBU. But your thoughts on your team up to this point through 6 games?
Yeah, I mean, we knew going in it was going to be a challenge with 5 straight on the road, 7 of our first 8. We're still in that process this week of finishing that. And the thing is you learn a lot right away, and I think the thing we're learning is consistency, playing hard and competing on every possession for 40 minutes. You're not getting away with, maybe like we did the other night with Sterling. I thought we really did a good job. We played hard throughout the whole game. But, those games you can kind of get away with at times having possessions and minutes and moments where you're not, all out. And, the schedule we've played, when we do that, we've gotten beat. I felt like at Mines and SBU, we didn't give consistent toughness and effort for 40 minutes like you have to do against quality teams on the road. I think the other times we did. I thought in Arkansas, both games we played really hard, competed at a high level. I thought we did that against Colorado Springs, and, we had success every time. Doesn't mean you're going to have success every time, but you have no chance of success if you don't go out there and play at that kind of level. And that's something, I talk to our guys about all the time, and that's something you learn. It's not just, you don't just naturally become a great shooter. You don't naturally become a good ball handler, working on all your skills. You have to work on and learn how to play hard at all times, how to be tough at all times, not only physically but mentally. And I think we got a new group. We've been put in adverse situations as far as being on the road a lot against pretty good competition, and we're going through a process of trying to figure all this out and learn it.
Well, you look at the squad. You mentioned there are a lot of new faces to go along with some returners. But, some of the guys who were back didn't play a whole lot last year, so roles obviously changing. And anytime you bring in, we talked with Coach Hobson earlier, and even his situation where you have a big core back, you bring in a few new faces, it changes the dynamics, the chemistry, and then when you add like you did, I mean, it takes a while. It feels like they're slowly starting to figure that out, but that's a process as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's something you go through, it doesn't matter if you're coming from high school or even your junior college. I mean, 4 years is just a different animal. It's a different animal from what's expected of you, from an effort level every day, every game, and just really from an execution level. How the game is played is a completely different. It's all brand new, and and roles have changed. All these guys that have come here, wherever they've come from, like I said, high school, transferring in, they've all been one of the best players and got to take the most shots, and so their whole life they've been worried about and been told, worry about your offense. We need you to do this. Well, now we come here. Hey, we need you to guard also. We play just as many possessions on defense as we do on offense, and that's the thing about basketball. Football, you can kind of, hey, this guy's a really good offensive player, but we don't let him go play defense, and vice versa. Here, your best players still have to be good defenders, or they're going to hurt you, and that's something we got to continually build on and try to get better at.
Phil, they're getting better. I mean, it seems like, and I don't know if it was the last 7 or 8 minutes of the SBU game, but hopefully maybe a light switch went on to realize, because obviously you're in a desperate situation there, and you have to increase that intensity. But hopefully learn when you do that. I mean, you're probably not in the situation you were.
No question. Yeah, and we have done it. It's just more like I said. We did it at Arkansas. We went down the opening weekend, and I realized we're excited. It's the first weekend of the year, but we played hard. I thought we did it against Springs. We did it against Sterling. It's just something that has to get more consistent. That every time it's an every time thing, not a sometime thing, and that's just like I said, a learning process we're going through a little bit right now.
It was nice on Saturday to see you guys get off to a good start, because that had been a bit of a problem earlier this year. Just seemed like you're you look up and you're behind and having to climb a hill early on in games to get out of it.
No question. Before the Sterling game, 3 games in a row, even the game we won against Springs, we got to a woeful starts. And, I think part of that is we're really doing a good job now moving the ball. I really like what we're doing offensively. After the Mines game, I just felt like we were playing too quick, shooting it too quick, and I think maybe that had some carryover. You start the game and you're trying to just, we were being too unaggressive on offense. We weren't. I mean, you look at the Baptist game, the Springs games, the Mines game. We're down 13-2, and I thought 2 of them weren't necessarily, horrible defense at times, but we couldn't score. And part was just being too passive. I think everybody's trying to do the right thing, and that's another thing we're trying to figure that out too. That I think we've done a great job over the years of offenses. Really, offense is a fine line. You can't come down and just let it fly and not run offense at all, but you also can't come down here and make 30 passes every possession and expect to be a good offensive team. You have to be able to make plays through organization and through structure, and I think we're getting better at that. And I think part of our problems starts everybody was in their minds trying to do the right thing, but we just weren't being aggressive enough.
Well, Devin Davis may be a good example of that. I mean, he distributed it well and then had a big game against Southwest Baptist, and then 7 assists in the game the other day. And you didn't need his scoring maybe as much in that one, but a guy who kind of can distribute and can shoot, but obviously you're looking for him to score as well.
Yeah, he's got to find that balance. At times, Devin predetermines what he's doing. I'm going to catch the ball, I'm going to go score it this time, or this time I'm going to pass instead of reading and taking what the defense gives you. Obviously we don't have a great post presence, but I would say, a concern, whatever, is we're not great creators, and Devin, I think, is the guy that can create and put the most pressure on the defense and open up opportunities for others. Right now we're last in the league in assists per game, and I don't think it has anything to do with selfishness. A lot of times maybe a team's that's not. We just have a hard time creating for each other, and I think Devin's our best guy capable of doing that. But he can't get where that's all he's doing. We still need him in a lot of games to score some points. He needs to be a guy that gets double figures and gets 5-6 assists a game, because I think he's capable of doing that. That's just kind of something new for him, and you can't predetermine what you're doing. You just got to go play basketball and make the read.
Jake Hutchings had a nice game, double-double on Saturday. I think it's his second of the year, but certainly showed what he's capable of shooting, but does a pretty good job of rebounding as well.
Yeah, Jake's he's a deceptive person. You kind of look out there, he's not the strongest guy. He doesn't run the best, but he's sneaky athletic. Our first game, we threw a lob to him in our game, and he caught a lob. I mean, he can jump better than what people think. He's a little bit, he's not just a shooter. He kind of has an innate ability to drive it and finish with angles without really getting that high off the ground. Mm-hmm. I mean, he just kind of has that ability, just kind of scores it. And like I said, he's a much better rebounder than you think. He's longer than he looks, and he's pretty deceptive in what he can get accomplished. And he needs to have a good year for us, obviously. And Jared also. I mean, those guys need to be able to put the ball in the basket at times for us.
Well, the Tigers get set to open MIAA play, another tough one, and of course it's on the road as they open up MIAA play with Nebraska Kearney. We will take a break and we will preview the conference opener tomorrow night up at the Health and Sports Center. We are at Horizon Appliance and Mattress, where they've got a great selection of mattresses, all the kitchen appliances you need, big and small. And of course, it's your Traeger Grill headquarters. Not only the grills, but the wood pellets, the accessories, the rubs, the spices, everything you're going to need for the person on your list with the Traeger Grill right here at Horizon Appliance and Mattress, 1501 East 27th in Hayes. We'll take a break. More to come right after this on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction.
That was another legend on 99 KZ Country. And yes, before that, we had a brand new artist. Your home for today's stars and the legends. We play real country. I'm Teresa Trapp. Weather, news, sports, it's all here. We're on Facebook, and there is a listen live link at hayespost.com. Dial us in on your radio at 99.5 FM. KHAZ, Real Country. 99 KZ Country.
Here comes Perry Carroll back the other way for the Tigers. Stops on the left wing, dribbles down to the baseline, kicks it out to Hutchings, a left-hander for 3. Nothing but net. Jake Hutchings with 7. Fort Hays State's 4th 3 of the first half. They lead 28-10. And more of the action from Saturday and a big win over Sterling College to move to 4-2. Welcome back to Tiger Talk from Horizon Appliance and Mattress at 1501 East 27th in Hayes. We're talking Fort Hays State men's basketball with head coach Mark Johnson. Fort Hays State gearing up for the start of conference play. Boy, it seems every year it gets here quicker and quicker. It seems like this year even faster than normal. And boy, another tough one out of the gate. Nebraska Kearney. They're 3-3, but at times looked really, really good this year. Obviously, a big challenge to open up conference play on the road tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, they've probably had every bit the schedule that we've had or more. They played, Oklahoma Baptist on the road, a good team, and really they played half these games without arguably their best player, A.J. Jackson. Now he is back playing again. They kind of, not to say anything about their player, I think they got better, kind of addition by subtraction. They're a hard-playing team. They're scrappy. They're just solid, do everything. They're just doing all the things it takes to win games. They might not have that one individual that really wows you or stands out, but I think they're a better team than a year ago. They're just, like I said, they're more, I don't know what it is, better chemistry, better, doing things correctly and competing and more together. And Kearney, really, there's been three places, Kearney, Central Missouri, and Lindenwood. We have just been woeful. And, luckily Lindenwood isn't on the league anymore. But we have not played well at Kearney. We have a hard time making shots, and defensively at times we've been pretty solid. Last year we held them in the 50s, but we just have a hard time making a shot up there. I don't know what it is, and you kind of hope maybe this is the year we come up there and play really well and make shots, because you go on the road, I mean, your defense can keep you in the game, but at some point you're going to have to make shots. So I feel at home, if you give great effort and you're locked in and you play, great defense for 40 minutes, you still have a chance to win that game. On the road, you got to do that just to be in the game, but eventually you're going to have to make some shots at some point in the game. You don't have to shoot it well for 40, but there has to be a stretch, a 5-minute stretch in that game where you're making shots, and we just have not been able to do that, and maybe this is the year for us.
No, hopefully so. I mean, both games decided by 3, I think, a year ago, with each winning on their home floor, and you're exactly right. It's been a challenging place to play, and it'd be nice. I mean, you start there, you go to Emporia, which is another challenging place on Saturday. 2 tough ones to open conference play, but if you can find a way to win them, 2 road wins. But what a great start it would be for MIAA play.
Yeah, no question. I mean, you got a great opportunity. I think the thing you're concerned with, they're young guys. It's not the games. This is the 4th straight week to start the season we're on the road. Even Saturday we had a home game, but we were in Kansas City during the week, and you're in Arkansas one week, then the next week you're in Colorado, then you're in Kansas City. And I know these aren't far trips, and it's not the games. Like I said, they're young guys. I mean, it's not the physical wear. It's just that's my biggest concern, I think, going into the season, was this first week of conference is a really big week for us, but it's your 4th week in a row you're out on the road. Hopefully we're tough enough mentally to overcome that, because those road trips wear you out. Whether it just be being in the bus, not being in your own bed and doing all that. We need to fight through that. It'd be a great opportunity for us. And then, Emporia, knock on wood, has been really the opposite of us. We've played as well at Emporia as any gym we haven't, and even in our home gym, it seems like we've really played well there, and hopefully that does continue, and we do that on Saturday at Emporia.
It'll be an interesting MIAA race. Obviously, Northwest, 42-game win streak, defending national champs. They're the team everybody's chasing. Southern, 5-1. We know what they have. They're going to be good. You got some newcomers, Rogers State and Newman. Northeastern's off to a good start. They've been receiving votes in the top 25. A very interesting MIAA race, and then with 2 new teams, a different feel to everything this year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Northwest is standalone by themselves, and Southern's whole key. The only way is Cam Martin gets in foul trouble, they have a chance to get beat, and that's what happened to him against a good Truman team on the road. Mm-hmm. But he played 17 minutes and got his 4th foul with 13 minutes to play, and is fouled out with 4.5, and they had the lead. I mean, those two, are probably up there by themselves. And I really think this year, though, Washburn was that 3rd team that I think that was clearly better than everybody last year. I don't know if that's necessarily true this year of anybody. I think, there's an opportunity for a lot of us to get in there and be there. I think, Rogers State could be as good as any of those other teams out there. Obviously, Northeastern, I think this is their best team they've had, and I mean, since prior early years in the when they first joined, they had a good team, went to the tournament. Newman's a solid team. I think Newman and Rogers State, especially Rogers State, could be as good as anybody in the league outside of maybe those top 2 teams. They got a lot of transfers they brought in, one-year guys that are really off to a positive start.
Well, we will see. It all gets underway tomorrow night. Ready or not, here we go. MIAA play, Fort Hays State and Kearney right out of the gate. A big one for Fort Hays State, and hopefully it's a good night up at the Health and Sports Center. Coach, as always, we appreciate it. We will see you up in Kearney tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Jordan.
That's head coach Mark Johnson of the Fort Hays State Tigers. Again, it'll be a 5:30, 7:30 start for the doubleheader up at the Health and Sports Center. We're on the air at 5:05 with the Auto World pregame show. And don't forget, you can catch Tiger Talk online at HaysPost.com. Look for it there. We'll have it throughout the week, and of course on Eagle Cable's channel 14 and 614 Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. Program brought to you by these premier sponsors: the Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute. It's part of the University of Kansas Health System. The Taco Shop, Adams, Brown, Barron, and Ball. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, BTI, as well as G&L Tire and Automotive. And of course, the fine folks here at Horizon Appliance and Mattress, where you'll find the lowest prices on kitchen and laundry appliances, Traeger grills, and mattresses at 1501 East 27th in Hayes. It's going to wrap it up. We'll see you in Kearney tomorrow, 5:05, the Auto World pregame. Then Saturday, a 1:05 pregame start from Emporia. We'll talk to you next week right here from Horizon Appliance and Mattress on Tiger Talk.